Hey everybody, IHTW here. This video is going to be a little tutorial on how to make a fake rock hide, like this one right here. I made this a little while back. If you're an older subscriber, you remember when I made this. This is a little hide for my leopard gecko. You can see the little lid here has 2 floors. I will be making something that looks like this, basically, but not as many pieces, because this was made out of scrap. So you can see there's a piece there, there's a piece there. This wall right here was made of 2 individual pieces. So hopefully I'll be making something better than this. Start off, I'll show you what you need. Obviously you need some sort of foam. I think polystyrene is the best. Styrofoam is very hard. It's hard to carve. I guess it'd be better for like bearded dragons or large lizards. Bearded dragons, I'm not sure if you should make fake rock backgrounds for them. They tend to destroy everything. They like to dig it up and stuff. It's better for leopard geckos. Here you'll need your paints. I have 3 different shades of gray which I'm using for this rock. You're gonna need a non-toxic sealant. I use Podge matte finish. This is about $10. These are $3, $4 each. You might need a roller too. This is kind of optional for spreading out the sealant throughout the rock project or whatever. If I can find it, you'll need a paintbrush, obviously, and if I can. Okay, this is here somewhere. Okay, you're gonna need a sharp knife. Okay, there, a sharp knife. So that's all you need to make a fake rock background, just like this one over here. Yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so if you can see here, I already cut out a few pieces. This is for the bottom and the top of the hide right here, which were like that together, and I kind of just cut out right there. And I split it open. I also cut out a few more pieces here. So these are the walls that will go on the side here, which I cut out from there too. I also cut out another piece, which I will have to do a little more cutting on this, because I'm not done yet. So this is what it looks like so far. Okay, so basically you can see that I basically put all the pieces together, so it's starting to look like a hide right there. You can see that this is slightly sloped. I will be doing a little more cutting. All I did was just slicing down. Literally, I sliced it down just then. But basically, I sliced it down so it looks like it's going on an angle. It makes it look a lot more rock-like and better this way if you do it like that. I also did it here, except the back. That's the only part I didn't do it. You can also simply use your finger and you just rub it, and you can actually scrape off little pieces, and you can shape it just by using your fingers. So that's an easy way to do things if you don't like using a knife. Don't stab yourself while using this. So here basically I just made the front. I cut it out so it fits in there pretty good. Let me focus. And I cut out a little door. You can see right there, and it fits right over that sort of like slope I made right there. An important thing to keep in mind is that you make sure that you cut out the hole so that the gecko can fit through it. Honestly, when I cut out this hole, I didn't really plan that it would be for an adult gecko. I planned it for a baby, and then I started to use it with my adult gecko, and it didn't really work out very well. Sometimes she would get stuck in here, which kind of sucks, so I kind of just take off the lid. So make sure the hole is a good size for your gecko. An easy way to test is just to, I don't know, measure the width of your gecko from her belly or his belly, and then you kind of measure it here and you cut out. Also, a cool thing to keep in mind that if you see any sort of like smooth foam or any part of it, try to slice it off. Once you start painting that smooth part, it will look weird. See? So it's better to cut it all so it looks all rough and everything. When you paint it, it'll look a lot better, trust me. So basically just take a knife and try to just cut off a little bit of it as you can, and just do it throughout the entire thing. A lot of people get troubled by when they start cutting this thing that tiny bits of foam fly everywhere. Honestly, if you're really annoyed of it, you can simply take a lighter and just sort of like burn it, and it'll make it all hard and it won't flake or whatever. But seriously, you don't really have to. Once you start painting it, all that stuff won't even happen. So that's just a little tip for you guys. If you really are getting annoyed of it, you could burn it, and try not to burn too much because it will become black, obviously. So once all the cutting is complete for your hide, you can see, I'll give you a little view. This is what it looks like so far. Please do not collapse on me. Okay, I'll give you a little inside view. Okay, never mind, it fell anyways. So this is what it looks like on the inside, without the back falling off. Okay, so this is pretty much what it's gonna look like. You can notice that it's quite boxy looking around the edges, so I'm gonna do some extra cutting with this. You know, when you're making this, a lot of people ask me, oh, how do you do it so good? Personally, you could simply, I don't know, how could I put this? When you see something, it's kind of like art for me. Man, this is really hard to explain. A good tip would be to cut off any sharp edges. That's one thing to make it look a lot better. Other than that, I don't know what to tell you. So, hopefully if you can see here, I've cut out all the sharp edges around here and also shaped the top a little better. So now it looks a lot better than it did before. It looked more of a box before, honestly. So now that this is done, all I have to do is really glue it. I'll show you what I use in my drawer. You can honestly use any craft glue, like a school glue, for example. This is it that I use. So it's completely non-toxic. In fact, you can eat that stuff and you'll live from it. So that's completely safe for your animal. Trust me, I've used that thing for a while and I have seen no problems with it. So I'm gonna use that to glue everything in. It's quite time consuming since it takes a long time to dry, but it's worth it. Once that's done, I'm obviously gonna paint and put on the sealant, and by then it should be pretty much done. Okay, so hopefully you can see right here that I have glued everything together. It's all one piece. So there you go. I used the glue, I spread it out everything. I might be putting a second layer on because it is not super secure. I also want to show you, I took 4 little pieces, sort of like squares, that I cut out myself, and I put them on a few corners here, and it makes it fit on top of this quite nicely, and it won't move around that much, really. So that's a pretty cool thing I did. I will be painting this right after, so I'm gonna start doing that in a little bit. Okay, so if you can see here, everything has been painted in that neutral gray I showed before. A quick tip is, when painting, there's obviously gonna be a lot of little sort of like white dots in the middle of this. You can see that one doesn't have any of it. This one still does. I'm also running out of paint. What you can do is just take your paintbrush, that even if it has just a little bit or a lot, it'll work, but all you have to do is just dab on where the white spot is, and normally it'll go away. Or you could just dab in and start twisting and try to get in that little hole to get it filled up. So this is what it looks like so far. I'm gonna wait until it dries and everything, and I'll be able to do the dry brushing, which I will show you once everything is obviously dry. Also remember to wash your paintbrush after you paint, or else it'll end up like this thing. Okay, so once your paintbrush is all clean and, you know, free of any old paint, you can see the base coat is all done. I did that one in darker black because I ran out of gray. So To dry brush, you squeeze out a little bit of the light gray paint or the lighter color, whatever you choose. Just kind of wipe a little bit. Don't have too much on the paintbrush or else it'll look pretty bad. Okay, let me focus. All I really do is just lightly brush along here, and you can see the rock color is already coming out. So I basically do just the same thing, just that all over the thing until it looks like a real rock. Okay, so basically once I did all that dry brushing, here it is. It looks just like rock. It's still not dry yet. It'll look a little better once it's done. Once again, if you have any white dots like I do here, and some on the inside, it won't even matter once you do dry brushing. You won't even notice it. So even if you do have a little bit, don't worry about it, and just do the dry brushing technique that I showed you, which is just having some paint and splashing it on. You might need a scrap piece of styrofoam to practice on first before you actually do your hide. It does take some getting used to, so just a tip. I'll be back when it's pretty much all done. Okay, so here it is all painted up. You can see that you can barely even notice the little white dots that used to be there of unpainted styrofoam. Same here on the inside. It all pretty much looks like it's all been painted. So far it's looking pretty good. A lot of people ask me, do I use grout? Well, no, I don't. You really only need grout when you're making a fake rock for bearded dragons. Bearded dragons get pretty big, and they're very notorious for destroying fake rock backgrounds. Leopard geckos are small lizards. They don't really do much to fake rock backgrounds like bearded dragons would. So you don't really need grout for leopard geckos, but for bearded dragons you probably would. You can see here on the lid there are some white dots too. They're all going to be unnoticeable once I do the dry brushing in a little bit. And here's what the lid looks like when it's all painted up. So you can see that you barely even notice the white, as I said before. It looks pretty good so far. The underside, I haven't really done anything to it. I'm probably just going to leave it black and let it dry. So once I put it on top like that, here is pretty much the hide. All I really have to do is cover it in a non-toxic sealant, which is probably the most important thing. So for the sealing part, I have out my non-toxic sealant, Mod Podge. It will smell quite a bit. It smells like glue, honestly, and it's quite sunny outside today. Anyways, just let's get started now. So all you really have to do is dip your whatever you're using onto it, and just dab it along. Your project is gonna turn basically all white looking, like you can see right there. It's normal as long as you cover it in a layer. Not too thick or else it'll take really long to dry. I'll show you once I'm done covering all of it in Mod Podge. So here is what it looks like with all that Mod Podge on. So you can see that everything's pretty much white. After this, it's gonna dry up, it's gonna be clear, so don't worry if it looks kinda weird. So all I have to do really is the underside of this and the underside of that, and everything will be pretty much done. So if you can see here, the sealant has dried already. It's clear, it's no longer white. If you do this, you might also notice that it's smooth and somewhat shiny. Honestly, I think if you put 1 or 2 layers, it'll look okay. It's not really that bad looking, but other than that, it's pretty good. The sealant also makes it stronger, which is why I don't really use grout. So looks pretty good so far, and here's the underside. Put that on top there. I'm not gonna be done yet. I will be doing one last few finishing touches, which is optional. So I'll be right back when it's done. So after all that hard work, everything's finally done. You can see I added in some of this shredded up green sponge. It's supposed to be like bushes. I got it from my hobby store. I'm pretty sure you could find it there. There's a lot of other stuff you could get too. So I'll give you a little close up. that's what it looks like. I used the sealant like a glue, and I kind of just put this all around the hide. So finally everything's done. Looks pretty good. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope it helped you. If you have any questions, you can put it in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.